Hello everybody, and welcome to a Theros Beyond Death draft here on Magic Online. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions or feedback. We're going to be starting things off with a nice little Thassa's Oracle. This card is much better than it looks. It looks like a bad version of Omen Speaker, but in blue decks specifically, a lot of the time it can be a win condition. It is a nice combo with Sweet Oblivion, which is uncommon you can pick up pretty easily. And it also just ends up being a nice control finisher because you can actually get like 5 or 6 blue mana symbols into play if you stall the board correctly with your Ichthyomorphoses and your Riptide Turtles, and then you drop this in the late game once you've already exhausted all your resources, drawing through your deck with things like the Thirst for Knowledge variant. Thirst for Meaning. After that, I think I would probably take... I don't even know what was in the pack. Ooh, this is actually a perfect start to the draft. So here we can take Illyrios Enraptured, because Illyrios will let us... it will help us to stall the game out, thanks to our... it'll help us stall the game out because it gives you 2 bodies. It's a nice little blocker as well. And then we can probably mill this Sweet Oblivion, which we actively want with our Thassa's Oracle. However, other people should not want it, especially because there's some pretty good cards in this pack. Even in blue, there's an Omen of the Sea and Brine Giant that most people will take over Sweet Oblivion. There's also Return of Nature, Treacherous Blessing, Underworld Rage Hound, and at least 4. There's a lot of cards you can take over the Sweet Oblivion, but we definitely want it because the way this card works is you win the game if X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library. So you can just, once you've drawn your Thassa's Oracle against a deck with no counterspells to stop it, you can just start milling your deck with Sweet Oblivion, and then it fuels itself for more escape. So you would actually main deck it, and it would be pretty good. But we just want to start prioritize ways to stall the game, and we don't want to pass blue signals here. Sweet Oblivion isn't really a blue signal, whereas Illyrios kind of is. Another thing is Treacherous Blessing is much better than it looks. I do want to point that out as well, because the card is pretty good in a red-black deck because there's some ways in red and black to sacrifice it, and then some decks just have enough life gain that it will be worth it. Okay, so here, blue-red isn't necessarily the greatest control deck, but I think Fateful End is still a pretty powerful card. We definitely don't want Heliod's Punishment here. We're going to be playing a very controlling deck, so the creature will eventually come unlocked. I wouldn't mind playing this in blue-white Heliod's Pilgrim, being able to get... Dreadful Apathy to help slow the game down and also just be a roadblock itself can be okay, but I don't think we really want that. I think we will just take the Fateful End. We can probably end up with just a heavy blue deck that splashes into another color for a little bit of stuff, and I think Fateful End is the best card in this pack. Whereas white-blue tends to be a little bit more of a tempo-y Flyers deck. We're trying to play a very controlling deck and win with our Oracle, and maybe even milling our opponent out with Sweet Oblivion. Omen of the Dead could also be a good fit for the deck. Lets you cast your Thassa's Oracle early and then get it back later, but I think that's the type of card you can get later. And if red's open, we're going to want to identify that. Okay, so Reverent Hoplite can be really good in token-based decks that are heavy white. I've had this card make me 7 tokens before fairly easily. Ashiok's Erasure, not a card I'm super happy with. It's a counterspell that can be interacted with via enchantment removal, which is just not where you want to be. Warbriar's Blessing is okay, but not really in this. Is a good card, but not. I'm saying it's okay because in this deck we don't really have anything big to put it on right now, and the blue creatures are kind of small. So you need it with other good green creatures. Binding of the Titans could be good. Helps me find my key cards and is a way to get back some of those cards. I think we're just going to take the Vexing Gull, though. It's a good card for a blue control deck. I'm not thinking I'm going to be a heavy white deck. I don't really want to be playing like the escape cards as heavily. Stern Dismissal is like not a huge priority. And Final Flare is pretty good, but you kind of want to have some omens to sacrifice to it before you really go deep on that. Okie doke. So here, I think the best card is... I'm just keeping these up here so that you can like see my last couple picks. And then all the cards will be over there. Here, Mystic Repeal I think is the best card in the pack. It's just a very good tool for stalling. There's also a Lampad of Death's Vigil. There's a Sweet Oblivion, which I kind of want, but at the same time, again, I don't really want to prioritize it because I don't think other people will be taking it. I don't think this one will wheel, but the other one probably will. And this one could wheel. And you don't want to be taking it over real cards, I don't think. I think Lampad is a fine pickup just because black-blue can sometimes be the perfect color combo for this. That being said, black is hard to get into if it's not super open, so I think we're just going to take Mystic Repeal. It's hard. It's very difficult here. It's just a very powerful card. And now Starlit Mantle, or there's still some good white cards, but they don't really combo with what we have. So I think we just take Starlit Mantle here, because we are pretty sure we're playing blue. Move over, move over. And now we can either take a Naiad of Hidden Coves, or we could take a Final Flare. I don't really want to play the Allure of the Unknown. Nexus Wardens can be okay, but I don't think we want to be playing blue-green as like a super late game deck because we'll just not have enough removal spells. I think we'll just take the Naiad. We're probably going to be able to operate at instant speed pretty well. Furious Rise, eh? That's a pretty good card. Just not really for what we're doing. I think we're just going to take the Riptide Turtle, get that early defensive creature that we're going to need to help stall us the game out. I think this is the pack we opened, so we're probably going to... The next pack's the one that should have the Sweet Oblivion in it. And it came back. Perfect. We'll definitely take that one and main deck it. Brine Giant would also be pretty solid here. Very late Rage Hound. That card should not be going that late. And now we can get Gift of Strength, I guess. It's looking like blue-green's relatively open. We're going to shrink the cards down now, so we can start seeing our curve. Our curve is very low right now. Currently, we have a green card and a red card, and all of our blue cards are pretty good. Stern Dismissal, definitely a card we'll want at least one copy of, so I'm glad to get that one. Blue Pack 2 should be good for us as well because we took pretty much every blue card we saw, so we should get really paid off Pack 2. And we'll just be a heavy blue deck and splash for another color. I don't think Towering Wave Mystic is very good, but sometimes you'll side this in if you need some stuff. I think it's better than the Infuriate. If you need just an early blocker, you can side this in. I'm actually really excited to show off the Thassa's Oracle kind of like mill deck because it's kind of a really good one, especially when you have a Sweet Oblivion to go with it. I'm glad we got to see that combo in action. Okie doke, moving on to Pack 2. Okay, there's a Mire Triton, which is pretty good in this type of deck. There is a Threnody Singer, which is going to be a nice defensive tool. Iroas' Blessing is good removal. We didn't see a ton of black Pack 1, which maybe means we'd get hooked up Pack 2. We pretty much just want to be playing the color that will give us the most defensive tools, while also giving us a lot of removal for late game situations. And we already have one red card, so getting another one would be pretty solid here. We don't have a ton of enchantments for the Nessian Wanderer to really go off, so I don't think we want to take that one here. I think Iroas' Blessing is the top contender among the commons, because Warbriar Blessing is just not good with these like high toughness, low power creatures we have, which is just generally where you're going to end up here a lot of the time. And I think, yeah, we don't want any of the green cards. The real choice is between Threnody Singer and Iroas' Blessing and Mire Triton. And since we didn't really see any black Pack 1, I think we're just going to take the Iroas' Blessing here, get another removal spell, and maybe move closer towards playing a red-blue control. And now there is really nothing for us. This pack is kind of a dud. The rare is missing, so we can't really get a sense for what they took. But this pack, I think Eidolon and Shoalkraken are the only cards I'd consider here. I think we'll just pick up a Shoalkraken. A 3/5 does stall the board pretty well, and we'll probably end up with a couple of enchantments. We already have one or two, but it's definitely not going to be one of the better cards in our deck. Yeah, Eidolon is a number 2 pick there. Now we can pick up a Memory Drain, or we can just keep taking red cards. I think we'll just keep taking the removal spells in red. Let ourselves see that signal, take a little bit of removal. It's not ideal. I think red-blue is probably not the best color combination for this, but it does operate at instant speed pretty effectively, which is good for a deck like this, because we're going to have Vexingles and Riptide Turtles and Memory Drains. We're not going to want Underworld Rage Hounds, though. Elysian Caryatid's pretty good as well, but I don't really want to be playing green because the only removal spell is Warbriar Blessing. So let's just take the Omen of the Forge here. And now there's a Brine Giant, which honestly should be pretty solid in our deck. It's a really big guy that can either attack and be a win condition or just hang back on defense. Devourer of Memory is not really where we want to be. It's just too small for its cost. So yeah, let's just get a Brine Giant here. Mischievous Chimera is actually quite nice here. Even if we're not a super defensive, aggressive deck, it's still going to be pretty good. There is a Thirst for Meaning, though. The Scry part is really why I'm excited about it, Not for the 2/2. Like the 2/2 flyer for 2 is obviously good. It can trade off. It can be an enchantment creature for my Brine Giant. We might just I think we have to take the Chimera. It's just so powerful. You don't want to overthink things like this sometimes. You're like, oh, we're playing a pure control deck, but you can't really commit to that. We might wheel a Riptide Turtle, but we really do want Thirst Remaining, but I think we just have to take the Mischievous Chimera. And now there's a Furious Rise, but we don't really have any big enough creatures to trigger it. So I think this is the time to pick up our Eidolon of Philosophy. I kind of like having a 1/1 split of Eidolon and Brine Giant. And now we can take Sea God's Scorn. We already have a couple good enchantments to pick back up with it, which is pretty nice. A good spot to be in. You can even pick up Illyria's, and it can buy you a lot of time in the right situation. And now there's an Elite Instructor. We'll take that over Traveler's Amulet, though we're not going to be playing that. Ragehound came back. Warbriar Blessing came back. Yeah, really weird pack here. I think we'll just take the Oread. Give us something to do with our mana late in the game. Help us not flood. Also an enchantment for our Brine Giant. And now there is an Arena Trickster. Let's sort by converted mana cost here. Get with the squad, Brine Giant. There's an Arena Trickster. We don't really have a ton of 4-drops. It could grow to pretty scary levels. I think it's better than taking a Thrill of Possibility here. Why is there Ragehound still in the pack? We're going to get a Memory Drain here. Give us some counterspell action. But Ragehound should not still be in the pack. Maybe we're just supposed to like convert to like a red-blue tempo deck. I could see that happening. This card is just so good. Yeah, this is disrespectful. Aspect. And just like that, we're just a red-blue tempo deck. 2 Ragehounds and an Aspect. Like, we now have a great late-game combo in Sweet Oblivion, Thassa's Oracle, and also just a pretty good tempo variant of the deck. Well, we opened an Elspeth. This is the time to get creative with your value index here. Like, what is it worth it to take here? Elspeth, Suns, Nemesis. It's like a 6-ticket card. Okay. And we would be taking it over One with the Stars, Brine Giant, Naiad. Yeah, we're definitely just taking this. It doesn't really... None of these cards are super high priority for our deck. And now... Wow, Erebos' Intervention is quite good. Is it worth splashing? Probably not. I just don't really love splashing in this format. It is really good, though. And there's a Traveler's Amulet that could maybe wheel. And there was a Brine Giant in that first pack, so we'll probably get one back. Let's just take the Intervention and hope to be able to splash it, maybe off of an Amulet. And now there's an Ichthyomorphosis as a nice little control card. I'm not a huge fan of Metamized Prophecy. It just underperforms when I play it. It looks like it would be okay, but it just really doesn't play out that way. It's very clunky. Forcing yourself to play a card potentially off curve is really irritating. And yeah, we just rather get removal. And now another Iroas is a blessing. Our deck is really coming together. I think we still should just play the hard control variant. There's also a Traveler's Amulet. But the Sea God Scorn is actually looking quite good, as like bouncing a couple of our cards. There's a Final Death. We could splash that. I think we're just going to play the control version and then splash a couple black cards if we can get the fixing. Getting a Vexing Goal is not a huge priority. And now there's an Altar of the Pantheon. Sure, we'll pick this up. Over a Nyxborn Seaguard. And another Mischievous Chimera. Pretty easy to slot this in. So 1 Traveler's Amulet is what we need now. Because then we can get away with playing 1 Swamp, I think. Final Flare, pretty good card. I've been pretty impressed by it. You can generally find something to sacrifice. Something they're about to kill, or something disposable. Yeah, I think we'll just take the Final Flare over a second Eidolon. And coming back, the Naiad. This was going to be our pick out of the pack anyway. Pretty nice to see this. Over Glimpse of Freedom. We already have ways to use our graveyard. 2 ways. We have a couple of Rage Hounds, which we might not play at this point. And then we want to keep our graveyard full so we can use our Sweet Oblivion. I don't think we need a second aspect of Manticore, that's for sure. I really wish we had a Thirst for Meaning, but 2 Mischievous Chimeras is going to be pretty good. So now we can start cutting cards. I'm really banking on a Traveler's Amulet coming back. It's the type of card you can get really late in a pack, so, and I know there was 2 of them we have a chance at. Okay, so the first one was a dud, did not come back. Let's just take the Thrill here. I guess we'll get a Mirror Shield. Why are there so many Rage Hounds? It's just wrong. Okay, so we did not get any fixing other than this. So we could play 2 Swamps. So we kind of have 2 different builds available to us. We have kind of like a tempo-y version and then a pure control version. Group creatures separately. So what's our worst cards? So we have a Riptide Turtle, which should never go in the same deck as an Underworld Rage Hound. So let's look at our control variant first. So we cut the 3 Rage Hounds. We cut the Trickster probably. And then we cut Aspect of Manticore. Thrill. No, we probably want Thrill, just so we don't deck ours, just so we don't like get flooded. Maybe it's just not necessary. Sweet Oblivion. Do we want Starlit Mantle? Starlit Mantle doesn't really do much for us. None of our individual creatures are super important. 17 lands plus an altar. Maybe I do want this guy just as a beefy card that can just grow and grow and grow. But what don't I want then? Maybe my Black Splash. I think the Black Splash is really good in this deck. This very controlling variant. I like all of my instants and sorceries. Could be possible we don't want a Vexing Goal. We'd rather just have some beef. Because 2/2 flyer is not a great blocker. And we need 1 more cut. I think this card's going to be great. We can return our own Irosis Blessings, our own Omen, and some of their stuff to buy us time. I think with Shoalkraken, we don't need to worry about milling out. I like Arena Trickster just because it's going to be pretty big in this deck, just a beefy card to help us hold down the fort. Though I guess we don't have a ton of instant speed plays. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I don't want that guy. And then I'd run 17 lands. Combine groups. Sort by color. So we would go 8, 7, 2. So this would be our mana base. That actually seemed pretty solid to me. 7 red sources is a little bit sketchy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We don't have any counter spells, which makes this a lot worse. I think it's better than our aggressive version of the deck, though. Do we want Mirror Shield? Mirror Shield could really help us stall the game. Because you put that onto any creature and it just becomes unkillable. I think this is a pretty good build. I like it. I like our Eidolon. I like all of our stuff going on. Obviously the combo's great. Yeah, this build looks solid to me. We don't really have as many instants for these guys. Really, we don't have that many at all. So maybe we can group creatures separately again. Naiad is definitely not a high priority for our deck. I could see playing Arena Trickster over it. Skophos War Leader maybe. A Mirror Shield. Mirror Shield actually seems like it could be okay in the right matchup. I don't think we want Vexing Goal over it. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine, though. This should be solid. Yep, that's going to do it for the build, and I'll see you in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Thank you so much for your support, and special thanks to my patrons that support at the credits level, Eric S., Stephen W., Brent, and Mr. Martinez. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the Patreon, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round one. We will play first. And we will mulligan this hand. That hand was a bit of a clunker. We'll keep this one, and we will pitch Stern Dismissal, I think. It's kind of like a card neutral type thing, and we'd rather have all of our spells to do stuff, and our Black Splash already sorted out. So against a white deck, our whole purpose is to just stabilize and then win with our combo in the late game. Because we're probably going to have them beat with that. They're not going to have counter spells to interact with it. Putting some pressure on them can actually help us stabilize. Because it makes it so that even if they try to put a clock on us, we can just threaten lethal. So keep in mind they could just have Heliod's Omen. So if they want to double block that, we're fine. White, green, A. Well, we're going to kill that. We're going to sacrifice whatever creature he blocks. Let's just sacrifice Illyrios. We'd rather have a 3-2 than a 2-3, I think. Boom, we won game one. That was easy. Moving on to game two. Now that we know they have that card, how can we prepare to beat it? We just straight up cannot. We have a plummet in the sideboard. Well, we're just going to have to save a removal spell for it then, I guess. Splashing green does not seem optimal. Okay, we're going to keep this hand on the draw. That's why I don't try to commit too much to extremes. I think in certain build-around cases, it's okay. Like we did commit a little bit here. We're not playing Rage Hounds and stuff like that. But you can kind of aggro them out no matter what your deck is. I hope they don't slam it on turn 4, because we can kill it with our Blessing. Just not on turn 4, we can't. Binding, eh? Yikes. Yeah, we probably want our swamp. Actually, we'd love it if they jammed Archon here. Voracious Typhon. Yeah, we're gonna have to kill that thing. And then next turn our 3/5 will come down. Save the day. Helps block everything they have. Whoa, they're not getting back Typhon. Oh, they had a second Typhon. So I just take 7 here if they have something. But next turn I can see God's Scorn, bounce 2 things. Our Shoal Kraken should be relatively safe as well. Except if they have Dreadful Apathy. This is actually a really good turn for us. So we're going to go... We're not going to play this land because we have this Shoal Kraken that we can loot it away with. So I think we hit them for 3. One, two... Okay, so they have, maybe, if they have Archon, how do we beat Archon? We have to get rid of this card. So we're going to get rid of this guy, and Blessing. Because if they have Archon, now they also have to have... Oh, oops. Also have to have another white mana, which they don't. Sure. Okay. Let me get more information first. Get rid of the mountain. And then we're going to play the Blessing here. The question is, what do we target? So if we target our Chimera, that's 3. And then it targets their... I assume it targets their Alseid. And then that puts them to 6, and then we're 1 short of killing them. But then any instant kills them. Or we could put it on the Shoal Kraken. And that way if they have +2/+2, it doesn't kill it. So I think we'll do that. Oh no, it's not a fight spell anyway. But now this thing kills their Typhon. And we just need any instant. Let's kill the Alseid. Oh no, I messed this up. I should have totally put it on Chimera. For some reason I thought this was a fight spell in my head. Yeah. Okay, they're giving protection there. That's fair. Honestly, we'd rather just have a land than protection from blue. Yeah, I should have put it on my Chimera. I did the math wrong. I assumed they were at 6 before I did the math. I was like, oh, I'll be 1 short, but now I'm going to be 3 short, which is much worse. Okay, Pilgrim. What have you got for me, Pilgrim? Warbriar Blessing. Okay, so they can fight one of my Chimeras. So I guess I'm glad that this guy's bigger now. Draw. Ooh, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Yep. Get rid of that. Combat. 2. We've got both of our instants up. When we cast Omen, we get to loot even. We actually have them dead on board depending on what they tap out for here. Ooh, yikes. Oh, that's actually really good for us. Sure. I think we have them dead. Yeah, because we bounce this guy, ping them, scry, attack, shoot. They didn't pick up their witness. They clicked wrong or something. I like how our deck that was supposed to be like a hard control deck is just like Raffle stomping them. Right, with our aggressive Chimera. Chimera is just so good. Raffle Stomp, I don't even know what that stands for necessarily. I know Stomp, and I know Raffle usually stands for rolling on floor laughing. Imagine if Warbriar's Blessing gave reach. Wouldn't that be the truth? That'd be nuts. Got the W, and I'll see you in the next round. We have lost the die roll and the mulligan game here. Gonna have to mulligan this. 5 lands and altar is just not enough action. We're gonna mulligan, and then we can keep this, but very sadly, and then we get rid of an island. I guess it's not that sadly. It's 2 removal spells, a red deck. But we really have too many lands here. Luckily, our deck has pretty good ways of getting rid of excess lands. Shoal Kraken, Oriad are both very good ways of getting rid of extra lands. I kind of expected Ragehound just because of how much Ragehound I've seen floating around super late. I just need a spell here, thank goodness. I don't think we're going to kill the Ragehound. I think we're going to wait and Ichthyomorphosis it. Even though red can have ways to sacrifice it, I think it's worth it here. And we can flash this in to kill something else if they play something small. Less likely now that we know they're a green deck. Maybe I am supposed to just kill it with my Omen. Yeah, I think I'm going to just... It's hard, because they could have Voracious Typhon, which I'd much rather Ichthyomorphosize. So, do I kill this now? How much damage is it going to save me? It's probably going to save me a decent amount of damage to kill it now. If they have Gift of Strength, I look really silly, but they could have had an ore they wanted to put on it. We didn't know their second color. Well, this works out nicely. Beautiful. So we're off to a pretty solid start. The Shoal Kraken's a huge help to us. Nope, don't need a mountain. And then if they play a Typhon here, we can make sure it stays in play. Or a Scophos Maze Warden. We'll do that to that as well. We just don't want to fall behind on board, and I think the Scry from this could be valuable. We also just, yeah. We don't know if they have Typhons even. And our Shoal Kraken holds down the fort on the Typhon front as well. We have not played any creatures yet, so they could be sitting on a hand of removal. So we'll keep that in mind. But their removal in green-red is Fight Spells and Iros' Blessing. Final Flare could kill this. But I don't know if red-green decks always take the Final Flares. Warden of the Chained, okay. Okay, Stampede Rider, coming in hot. It's a free roll attack. We're not going to block, though. We'll block once we have Final Flare up to protect from combat tricks. I'd love an yes, perfect. That is actually the ideal enchantment, because now I can hold up Final Flare while also getting rid of this land. Oh yes, this game is ours. Yep, we will kill that. Sacrifice our Omen. 2 for 1 city. Sure, they can bring back Ragehound, but it'll just bounce off our Shoal Kraken now. And if they have a combat trick, we get to exile it and do it again. Definitely not playing that mountain. They're bringing it back, eh? Sure. Warden can attack now, but we can just double block. It's a great trade for us. And if they do have a final death, an Infuriate, we get good value anyway. Wow, they're just offering this straight up. No, they have to have Infuriate. Oh, clever, clever opponent. Clever, clever. That's unfortunate. There's a nice little turtle rooski. We're still not going to play this land because we have Oread. Ugh. And we can hold up both of our instants still because of our Naiad. And if they do have a combat trick, we'll exile. Our current devotion to blue is 3. Sure. Dang, okay. Now we are going to exile 1. Perfect. 3, 4, 5. I'm kind of regretting that now, but at the time, we were going to be taking a decent amount every turn. Because we could only block one without losing stuff. Okay, they're sacrificing on upkeep. I'd say we're very favored to win this game, though, because we have a 5-6, which is just really hard for red-green to deal with. They put 2 cards on the bottom. I'm sure they're going to be suiciding in 2 Rage Hounds, presumably. We'll just eat one. We can eat the other one next turn. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. He's down. Man down. I think I will play this mountain now, because if I draw Oread, I'll only need one thing to fuel it. And we'll let them get their Scophos into the graveyard. Their upkeep scrying again. Once this second Rage Hound suicides, we can just start attacking with our giant. Okay, they're just drawing normally. Okay, they found a land, which gives them 1 scry. And they put it on top. Okay, that's not good for me. I need to find something soon. Sweet Oblivion wouldn't be good, because I need to draw Sweet Oblivion after I draw. Okay, so this thing has to suicide in. A 5-6 is just so big. So they get to bring back a Rage Hound here. I would love some sort of interaction. Erebos' thing would be fantastic. Oread wouldn't be half bad. Blessing, solid. I can attack for 7 if they trade here. I take 4 back. I don't think I want to block next turn. I want to know what their card they described at the top was. Oh. Oh. Punished for my insolence, as they say. So they get 1 more scry out of this. I think we just go for it here. Perfect. Oh, that was such a good draw. We'll put this on here. Pay 4. Kill this. Hit them for 8 down to 3. Either of my creatures is now lethal. They have to attack with that guy. And we're only dead to Gift of Strength, Fateful End, if we choose not to block. Them going to 3 also means I can just hold back Giant. Next turn, they'll attack in, it'll die. Impending Doom will trigger. Okay, let's see where they scry. They put a card on the top. Well, that's bad news. Well, I could definitely lose to like some of the... What rare would I lose to? Perforce's Intervention doesn't do it. And that's going to do it for the game. Our deck is performing well, even though we haven't gotten to our late game combos yet. I think we definitely want creatures that are bigger than 4 toughness. And this guy can get there. Skophos War Leader's definitely coming in. Eidolon seems a little bit worse here. So I think we're going to cut Eidolon for a Skophos War Leader just because Skophos does so much work. Our deck has seemed like it doesn't flood that easily. And then we'll run it like that. This guy's a little bit hard to get to bigger toughnesses. Eidolon also trades early on with the 3/1, but we kind of want permanent answers to make them suicide in. Sweet Oblivion might not be the greatest, but it is our late game win condition combined with our Thassa's Oracle, which maybe we don't want in this particular case, so maybe we just run it like this. It seems risky against their Rage Hounds. It seems like it might just be a walking mulligan. You kind of want that for controlling matchups. Oh, this hand is good. It is good. We do need an island, but we have more islands than any other land type in our deck. We have 3 removal spells. I like it, as long as we can get a creature to stick. I think on turn 2, instead of playing the Oread, we might just hold up Omen of the Forge, because I feel like they might go all in on a Rage Hound on turn 3 if they have the enchantment. Oh, never mind, that's easy. That makes our decision easy. Island me. Oh, baby, it's not an island. But it's our sideboard tech. I'm glad we drew that instead of Sweet Oblivion. Okay, so they have a very clunky hand here, which is really good for us, because we also have a very clunky hand with no lands. Until now! Haha! I never doubted you for an instant, deck. Not even 1 second did it cross my mind that we would not hit our crucial land. I think I'm going to get rid of the Erebos' Intervention. I don't have any swamps. I only have 3 black sources in my deck. It's only going to come on late game anyway. Okay. Goodbye, sweet Erebos' Invention. Land me, baby. Let's go. Our Sea God Scorn is fantastic in this hand. It just does everything we want. It'll bounce our Irose's Blessings and our Omen of the Forge. We just need to draw some islands now. Yep. Typhon number 2, also going to die the same way. We have a nice little beatdown plan going on here. If they have Infuriate, they have Infuriate. Gosh darn that opponent. Oh man, the devil. Absolute stud muffin. Well, we still have our double Sea God Scorn to get him back later. And this guy only costs 4 mana. We're going to ditch the Naiad. Oh dear. Deary, deary me. If we lose this game, I'm going to be very disappointed. It would be a sad day. Yeah, we can't block. We have too much riding on this Oread. Wow, they don't bring back Typhon, eh? Oh no, they can't. There's the island. So we can now play Mischievous Chimera and Omen. We can play Forge. I think we just attack, though, and play Brine Giant. If we had another island, we could have gone Chimera into Brine Giant. Maybe that's a reason to play the Chimera plus Omen package instead. Now them attacking lets them like get one back as a 7/7, so it actually kind of makes sense. But if they're just going to attack, I'm just going to let them do it. I'll take 4 again. I'm hitting the back for 8. Playing a 4/5 probably. Sure. Okay, that makes more sense. Island me? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so we will attack them with both. Actually, just with the Brine Giant. And then if they go for some fancy blocking, bottom. We do not need another Chimera. Wow, that worked. They really needed it. They really wanted that Typhon, I bet. Wow, if we hit an island to get our Sea God Scorn back, this game is over. I mean, to cast our Sea God Scorn, we bounce 2 blessings and their 7/7 that they spent all those resources getting. Oh my gosh, this game is over. Come on, island me. Island me, deck. I know you want to. Oh, baby. So island or swamp. So we have a lot of good draws. Oh, baby. So this is 3, 8, 10. Man, Sea God Scorn is so good in our deck. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, we totally did it. Oh, this is the dream. The dream. The Voracious Typhon has returned. He is back. Aww. Well, now we're going to have to 2-for-1 ourselves to kill it, but they're dead on board, so we're okay with that. There's no green combat trick for 1 mana. Da 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 da. Man, our deck is so good. Boom! And we're headed to the finals. Welcome to the finals, and we have won the die roll. And we have a keeper. This is a great hand. Turn 2 Chimera on the play, and our Shoal Kraken for some late game shenanigans. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, this hand just got a little fully loaded. We're against a blue deck, too. So our matchup against blue decks is super good because Sweet Oblivion is a great game plan against a lot of the blue controlling decks. And it looks like that's what we're up against. Even though we have a very tempo-y hand, or at least a very solid beat down-ish hand, we have that late game engine in our deck lurking. The cool thing is we can discard the pieces of it if we don't need them, because we have pretty good discard outlets. Believe, land me, baby. Okay, that's okay. Do we want to trade this guy off? Probably not, because he makes our Brine Giant cheaper. And we don't want this guy in the graveyard because we have Riptide Turtle to stop him. So we get to scry a land, hopefully an island or a swamp, hopefully a swamp to the top. Oh yeah, this is going to be a great matchup for us. I can already tell they have a bunch of dirtily ramp, a bunch of small creatures that get blocked by my 2/3 army. They put 2 on top. Okay. Yeah, we'll take it. Because we do need to get to 5 lands to cast our Shoal Kraken. They could have Gift of Strength, but we're okay with that. Okay, that's gotta die. 100% gonna kill the Shimmerwing Chimera here. Gonna put the counter onto our Riptide so we can block Brine Giant, I think. Sounds like a good plan to me. And then next turn we can get down our own Brine Giant. Turtle plus Iroas' Blessing is a nice place to be. Ooh, they're scrying. That's a really good sign. They put 2 to the bottom. Bottom, 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 bottom. Okay, that's a little bit frustrating, but we still have the late game on lock thanks to our combos, so. So we could just play Brine Giant here. I think that's the safest bet. They have Nexus Wardens, but we don't need to worry about killing that. Yeah, they're going to make their wolves into 2/2s. Yep. The 2/2s have arrived. So we'll play land, Shoal Kraken. And now we're in very good shape to take over the rest of this game. Erebos' intervention can eventually either kill Nexus Wardens, or we can draw our bounce 3 things, bounce our own Blessing, bounce Nexus, and bounce Brine Giant or something like that. They're going to make another 2/2, sure. We have a looting engine. We have all our colors thanks to this altar. We have our late game win condition. Eidolon's actually quite nice. We're not going to cast it this turn though. Actually, maybe we do. We don't really have anything we want to get rid of, so we're just going to wait. And we also kind of want to crack it once we're closer. 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to cast it when we're closer to being able to sack it to draw. Okay. Let's cast it now. It might bait a counter spell. Get rid of island. Play land. We also have Stern Dismissal in case they have Warbriar's Blessing. Ooh, they found their color. Things just got interesting. Okay. What are they going to get back? Shimmerwing Chimera? Yep. They don't play it though, because I have open mana. We're just going to pass turn and then crack our Eidolon. We're going to keep this swamp to discard. Okay, so they clearly have a way to protect their Shimmerwing, I think. Let's just draw 3. Okay, Omen of the Forge is a great answer. And it also lets us loot away some of these lands. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think what we want to do is this. We want to play Blessing on our Chimera, targeting the Shimmerwing. And then if they have something, we can Erebos' Intervention in response, or preferably Omen of the Forge. Like, I'm pretty sure they have something here. Yeah, they have that. I figured it was that. So we get 2 loots out of this. Yes, get rid of Mountain. Yes, get rid of Swamp. Pass. Oh, it's going to be so easy to mill them out once we get our mill cards. So they have 16 cards left. They got it back. Yep. There's no card to protect it for just green mana. So we're gonna Final Death it. Then we'll play our Swamp and Illyrios. We'll play our Swamp and then crack Omen of the Forge. So we can just end this game sooner. Maybe we should have played Island, but I don't think we're casting Sweet Oblivion more than twice a turn anyway. That's okay with us. I like this matchup for us, I think. Because we just win this late game so hard. Ichthyomorphosis. Yeah, that's a fine one. We'll go top. And now we just have a little bit of a clock in the air. Like, we don't need it, but it's kind of nice to have one in case they have some bomb that we can't deal with. Well, there's Thassa's Oracle. We just get rid of Illyrios. What's our devotion to blue right now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're close to winning with just that. Part of the reason I like our spot is because we have this 3-powered flyer in the air, so I'm pretty sure they don't have removal. And if they have a counterspell, it's not certain whether they would use it. Okay, that's a good one. That should lock it up. Sure, Threnody Singer. Okay, so we have 1 blue symbol, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8, 9. Greater than or equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just be patient on that one. And then just mill them for 8. Island, swamp, mountain. Let's look at their entire deck list. They have an inevitable end that they're splashing. They have a Horn Beetle, a Stern Dismissal. We know basically every card in their deck. Okay, what we're going to do here is use modern technology to gain control of knowledge of most of their deck. So if we ever need that knowledge, we will use it. Okay, so we're not going to splash any of those things. Okay, so what do we know about? So they have Omens, Starlit Mantles, Stern Dismissal, Horn Beetle. They're a very grindy deck. Shimmerwing is the biggest problem for us. Brine Giant can be scary if it comes down early. They have a Threnody Singer. Okay. I don't think they're going to be suiciding their Vexing Golem. What removal do they have? They have a Warbriar Blessing. So that's pretty easy to play around. They don't have any counter spells. They have a Stern Dismissal. Inevitable End's also pretty easy to play around. So Starlit Mantle's an interesting consideration. Vexing Gold just because it trades with the Shimmerwing. I really like my configuration. A 2/3 on the ground doesn't seem like... I mean, it seems like it just blanks a lot of things. I'm glad we have this Eidolon. Stern Dismissal seems like it's good against that Warbriar's Blessing, but not much else. And I guess it can just save us some time, but it's not really that good in this matchup. Still probably worth playing because we'll probably get to a point where they have Warbriars. Do we want to add the Starlit Mantle is the only consideration. Riptide Turtle seemed great. Oread of Mountains Blaze still seems good. I think it's between Naiad and Starlit Mantle. And I think with only 11 creatures, we're just going to want to keep it the way it is. And just accept that Warbriar's Blessing could wreck us, potentially. Kadoke on the draw. I think this is a keep. Ichthyomorphosis and Delirios can both help us stall the game out. And Mischievous Chimera, if we hit a mountain, can just start chipping away. Chip, chip, chip. Okey-doke, Wolf Willow Haven. We really need a mountain here. Island is the next best thing. Actually, Swamp would be the next best thing. But we needed to have a third mana available, so if they ramp into Shimmerwing Chimera or something of that nature, we do not just lose. We're going to try and make sure we have that in case they have Shimmerwing. Lirios Enraptured is a great answer to Loathsome Chimera. Oh gosh. Sure thing. So Lirios untaps at least. So we got a nice little value play there. They have their own Lirios, sure. There's our mountain. We'll just get our 2/2 into play. And then we'll... Oh, Omen of the Sea, sure. We will consider just trading off with this thing. I think it keeps its subtypes, though. We don't want to take too much damage here. Sure, Threnody Singer is a bummer. But we can just bounce that guy in response, so we don't lose our creature, which we kind of need. Fateful End is good. I think it stays a reflection. Nope, it is no longer a reflection. I guess it becomes a fish. So we really blew that one. Should not have gambled on the rules when I was not 100% sure. But what's done is done, I guess. Dang it. It doesn't say it loses creature types. I guess and is a blue fish. Rats. Silly me. Such a dumb play. Why would I experiment at a moment like that? At a time like this. So they've already used their Stern Dismissal. They have Stern Dismissal and I guess Starlit Mantle. So Starlit Mantle doesn't really wreck me. If they had it, they would have already gone for it. Okay, so they sided into more counter magic. Good to know. Or they had it in and just never drew it. Well, I'm feeling pretty silly. Because if I had made this thing into a 0/1, I would be in so much better shape. And it was just a rules misunderstanding. Like, it's fairly straightforward once it happens, but at the time it was like, oh, I can make it sure. So Illyrios never untaps. Oh, that's brutal. One on top, one on bottom, sure. Yep, Acolyte. What you gonna get back? Put Omen of the Sea, okay. Land is good. Then I'll just double block one of these guys. Dang, I'm so silly. This Ichthyomorphosis play is the bane of me. I need one of my big creatures. What did they do with their scry? Put 2 on the bottom. We'll get another scry at it. Thassa's Oracle, really not what we want right now. It is a 1/3, but we get another scry. I think we just want to hit a land so we can see God's Scorn. There we go. And then we have this guy to bring us back. If my Ichthyomorphosis doesn't come back to my hand here, I'm going to be so sad. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, so that ended up working out all right. We don't want this guy to go to the graveyard because they can just get it back if they draw a second one, like if they chain them together. So our Oracle's on the bottom. Now we can make the correct play with our Ichthyomorphosis. And then every future land we draw is a spell because, or not a, is a chance at a spell because of our Oread. It's also good to know that our Oracle of Thassa thing is our last card. Okay, that's okay. We're fine. We just need to draw one creature that can blank their stuff. Like we need a bigger guy. Like a Brine Giant would be ideal. So we're at 7. We have some time, and this guy's going to find us spells, hopefully. Why, Brine Giant? Had to be then, didn't it? Gosh. Darn it. Well, we lose. Oh, man. I think we have to play the land and then play our turtle. Then rip something off the top. We're going to go to 1 here. Now if we draw exactly Swamp, we can kill Brine Giant. Oh, I miscounted. I didn't need to play that extra land. Yeah, that's useless. And that's game. Okay. Game 3. This time we won't blow it on our Ichthyomorphosis play, so hopefully we'll have better odds then. Starlit Mantle, still a consideration. Scophos War Leader's honestly a big consideration, just so they can't hit us with their little guys. I think we're just going to bring him in. I think we'll just bring him in for... Honestly, not even sure what we want to bring him in for. Probably... A Stern Dismissal. Stern Dismissal's okay in the matchup, but it's not great. Now this is what I call a hand. We're not going to win with our Thassa's Oracle. We're not going to delay it. We're just going to play it on turn 2. But we have all of our colors. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. And we still have our Sweet Oblivion to mill them out in the late game, so... Feeling really good about this one. Sure. And we can always bounce it later on with Sea God Scorn. Put a card on top of your library. I almost clicked the island on accident. I think we're going to play this just because we'd rather get Iroas' Blessing onto it. That was actually a really risky attack. Maybe, I think it might have been correct for them to just chump block there, because then they can bring it back at a later time. Okay, Omen of the Sea. We're going to try and... They put 2 cards on top. Probably means they needed lands. I don't think I'm going to attack with my Mischievous Chimera. I think we're just going to sit back and relax. They could just have Threnody Singer, Starlit Mantle, tons of things that wreck me. Now that is a draw. That is indeed a draw that we like. No attacks. We're going to wait for them to be tapped out, but then we're probably going to exile the Chainweb Arachneer. Because then we can start beating down with our Mischievous Chimera. Because we just really don't want to walk into a Starlit Mantle. Yeah, we're going to have to use our stuff now. They were really clever. They played around our Starlit Mantle, but we at least get to scry once. Yeah, I knew they had it. Dang, I don't think we want that. We have nothing in our graveyard. Yeah, we're just going to have to control the game and win without that. Or like scry a bunch with this. It's such a bummer because that card is so important for our game plan. Dang it. We just don't have any fuel for it. Well, the Horn Beetle's terrifying. We've had a pretty rough draw this game. This card needs 4 in the graveyard. Yeah, we're going to take 8. That's not ideal. That's bad. That's something at least. We're going to get to scry at least. So I think we trade next turn. We block, kill that. How do I hold priority? Cold priority. So we're gonna see what we scry first. Bottom. Enter the battlefield. Because if we target them, they go to 8. And then we have 3, 6 points of damage. So I don't think we can kill them. Gosh darn it, the Arachneer is too good. Good sideboard tech. Should have brought in my Starlit Mantle after all, I guess. Dang it. Oh, the pain and agony. Our draw was so bad. Like, we're not out of this. Jeez. Oh my goodness. We're in rough shape. Dang it, our draw just did not line up well with what they were doing. Yep, I think we scryed 3 lands to the bottom and we still drew 7, 8, 9. We needed to draw something that could block something, and yep. Well, it's a bit of a anemic way to end the draft. Oh. I'd be very surprised if they don't have Deny the Divine here. Oh, it's stuck around. They have something, though. They have to. Yeah, Stern Dismissal. Yep, we needed to draw that earlier in the game. Also, this card was just a huge problem for us because our plan revolved around beating it down in the air with a 2/2. And that card really owned it. Oh, that's brutal. If I'd known, even then, Star Dismissal wouldn't have done that much. What could I have brought in to help with that? I don't even know. Ouch. We needed to just have a draw that lined up better with what they were doing. We needed some like 0-5s and things like that. We just didn't have the controlling pieces. We were kind of in a bad spot there, but we lose. Oh well. It was a fun draft regardless. If you did make it all the way till the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave a hashtag so close yet so far, or hashtag mill aggro, because it was kind of a fun mill aggressive deck. That is going to do it though for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I will talk to you folks next time. See you later.